Can we please do your introduction of who you are, sir?
I am the Sector Commander, Delta State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corp. And my name is Corps Commander Bassey, Eshiet. And incidentally, I'm the 20th Sector Commander in Delta State. So we've come a long way in Delta State. This particular week that we are into, we are commemorating the 7th United Nations Global Road Safety Week. The whole essence is to make sure that we have a sustainable transport system in the world. And so we join in this celebration because of the RTC data that we have been having that have been so frightening. But God being on our side, we've been able to be surmounting the train of road traffic crashes in Delta State. The theme for the 7th United Nations Global Road Safety Week is sustainable transport. Now, the United Nations are looking at it from this angle, how we can have a sustainable transport system. What do we mean by that? A transport system that will provide affordable, safe, and accessible and environmental friendly transport in Nigeria. So that is why we are looking so that we can move away from a system that will always cause damage to the public in terms of a production of emission, dangerous emission because of the partial burning of fuel in those vehicles. So we're looking at cycling, we're looking at train, we're looking at ship. Those are the transport systems that the United Nations wants to introduce to people, that people should start to embrace those things, and that the policymakers should think mobility by bringing into place mobility or transport system that will not endanger the human beings in our system. We've been able to, we commenced it with actually having a press briefing, which we couldn't end up having it today. While we're there, we had our stakeholders forum where we invited all the transport unions to come and let's brainstorm. We had a very fruitful deliberation that day on the need for people to, even your vehicle that you're using, you need to maintain it well. And that people should give opportunity for passengers in their vehicle to have a say in any journey. Not just the driver behaving anyhow. So knowing that a passenger that pays is paying for you to take him from point A to point B successfully and safely. It's not for him to arrive there or her to arrive in pieces. So we try to talk to the transport and the need for them to install the speed limiting device in their vehicles.
Okay, sir. Let's first of all understand the Zero Safety Week, you call it?
Yeah, the Global Road Safety Week.
Road Safety Week.
Yeah.
When is it commencing and when is it going to end?
It commences from 15th. It will end by the 21st of this month. So on Sunday of May.
Okay.
So we are actually going to, today we were in the mosque. So our Muslim brothers went there and talked to the faithfuls. And on Sunday, I'm going to lead a team to church to talk on the need for safety consciousness while using the road.
UN has set out this week for that purpose. What do they intend to achieve?
Now, for this particular 2023 edition, what they want to make a shift, the policymakers to join hands with them to make a shift from transport system that will endanger human lives to what will make human lives to be sustained. So they're looking at bringing back, reintroducing cycling, reintroducing electric motors, bringing sheep back to be where people can make use of and train, and see how we can reduce the number of vehicles on our roads, which will go a long way in reducing road traffic crashes on our roads.
Okay. Do you think Nigeria is matured for this shift in transportation system?
Well, we may not be so matured, but I feel that it's good to start somewhere and to know that you can lead, because something like it's not only in saving people's lives. Of course, if you go into cycling, what happens to you? You build your health. You build your health if you go into cycling. So that is why we are seeing the need for people to do these things. And we used to have ships on our waters those days, and people were using it. And all of us, I remember very well in my state, we were using MV to cross from Oron to Calabar, all the MVA Swene. Those things are all gone now. People are no longer using it again. But when the roads were so bad, people started going back to use flying boats to be crossing, and then security made them not to use again, and people started staying back again. But we discovered that these things will sustain the lives of people. They will not inhale dangerous gases into their system. That is why it is so important. So we believe that Nigeria may not be so fully ripe in this particular campaign, but we know it's good to train a child, so that when the child grows up, the child will not depart from the good knowledge he must have gained. So that.
You, in the course of your speech, you made us to understand that you are also trying to use this medium to reach out to policymakers to see the need to invest in this transportation system.
Yeah.
How are you going to convince our lawmakers to really look into it and ensure that they budget for it?
Well, back there in Abuja, the commercial had a robust interaction with lawmakers and the transport stakeholders, which all these things were enumerated on the need. And right now in Nigeria, the federal government assented to different conventions of the United Nations for a safe motoring environment in Nigeria. So it was the Federal Road Safety Code that made the federal government to be interested in road safety matters. And as I'm talking to you, the NRSS2 is being accepted, have been approved by the Mr. President, and is in use. It's a document, a policy document that have been produced by the federal road, by a body of professionals to see how we can sustain good road use in Nigeria. And it goes a long way. It's going to really help us. So we're working towards getting the policymakers to think in that direction.
Sir, let's say as a prelude to your remarks, you did talk about the move to cut down cost of fuel and the consumption of fuel in this country. So recently, the Lagos State government just introduced electronic vehicles because it's in Lagos now. Do you think it's sustainable in this country?
Well, Lagos is a state that every state needs to emulate when it comes to a good transport system. They've been working towards putting together a sustainable transportation system in Lagos. And that's why they've brought that issue of introduction of electric vehicles. It is sustainable, very, very sustainable. Because the Lagos State didn't just wake up to go into it. It is something that they have researched on and they've studied for a long time, and they see that it is worthwhile, that if it is done, it will go a long way in helping the populace not to inhale dangerous gases into their system.
Okay, what's your message to Deltans?
Well, to Deltans, I want to use this opportunity to ask each and every one of you, if you cannot get all those kind of vehicles that will not endanger the lives of human beings, the ones that you have, you can maintain it. The vehicles that are smoking in Delta, they should take it and go and work on the engine so that it will stop smoking, because the smoke is not good for the public. So I ask you to stay safe, as we are looking forward to, let me bring this to your notice, by next week, by God's grace, Mr. President will be commissioning the second Niger bridge. And the work that is done there is so wonderful that people will not be suffering again. So it's part of transportation system, a sustainable transportation system being put together by the federal government.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.